Hey there, it's Dallas, and I wanted to talk to you just very briefly about our translations and our subtitling and dubbing and how much care and effort goes into making sure that The Chosen is translated not only to as many countries and languages as possible, but that it's done well, that it's done accurately, and that it's also done with cultural sensitivity and specificity. So here's what that means. We have a team of some of the top linguists and translators in the world. We have people who have tremendous background when it comes to translation efforts, subtitling and dubbing, who've done it for several significant companies and for major projects. And it is very important to us that this show is translated to people in their native language in as many as we can. In fact, our goal is to reach 600 languages of The Chosen all over the world. Now, that can be challenging because sometimes we can do it accurately to the words that are spoken, but not everyone will pick up on some of the cultural references that we're including, maybe some that we're including that would have existed in first century Israel, or even some that are American, because obviously we're speaking English in The Chosen. And with that, we use what's called transliteration and sometimes just metaphor. So for example, a character might make some sort of reference that might not have existed in first century, but we know they would have had their version in the first century of some of these phrases that we use today. And so even though English didn't exist in the first century, and even though some of these phrases that they're saying didn't exist in the first century, heck, the word the, which is the most common word in the English language, didn't exist in the first century. And so sometimes we have to use phrases that we say today that might not have existed back then, but we know that they had their own version of that. Now, even that might be confusing to some people in other countries and with other languages because they might not understand the reference at all. They might not have the animal that we are referring to in our phrase. They might not have some of these metaphors or concepts familiar in their language or country. And so what we do is we work with local translators to ensure that the intention of what we're saying is accurate. And of course, anytime we have anything from the Bible, we want to be as close as possible to the original language, to the original words and the original intent. But occasionally we may adjust some of the phrases and some of the words to be more culturally sensitive. But I just wanted you to know that at the end of the day, what's most important to us is that we are accurately capturing the character and intentions of Jesus and the Gospels. And even when we are translating it, we want to preserve that original intention as much as humanly possible, while at the same time making sure that when we can, if it doesn't impact what was originally being said and the intention of what was originally being said, we do make certain adjustments to words and phrases that will be more culturally sensitive. So if you come across something in your language that you think is potentially confusing or culturally insensitive, then you're for sure able to reach out to us and let us know. But I just wanted you to know that we take this very, very seriously, and we want as much as possible everyone in the world to access The Chosen and to be able to understand it and appreciate it in their heart language. So thanks for your time and consideration.